Folks, today we are on the Celtic Heroes database. You can see the address up there at the top on the character creator. I only just found out about this last night and I'm just totally stoked. This is amazing. And I'm going to show you quickly a build, yeah, we'll call it 150, sure, that I've used before. I don't care. I don't need a name. Here we go. Alright, so first we're going to see we're on character down here. If you go to items, right, then oops, sorry. Alright, so I want warrior frozen gear, which is called Frozen Astral. By the way, if you're a clan banker, knowing what particular things are called and being able to search for them is very useful. Alright, so there's my weaponry. Now I believe that it is the Shield of the Ravager. See how I pulled up the whole set is what I'm talking about. Is this the right one? Yes, it is. Okay. We're going to put together a warrior. Let's use... Oop, sorry, I keep clicking the wrong thing. I'm a little new to this. A frost iron axe. Now, they're color coordinated, much like, so it should be the blue one that I'm looking for, I think. Yeah, we'll call it that. So the way I can find that is by looking at the colors on the handle. The white will be godly and the red will be minor. I'll do some videos maybe on the tiers in the interim. And the reason we want that is we're going to need the extra skill points. Really, there's some other... Oh, you know what's better? Let's use a better item. Let's go... Oop. It's the Master Hammer of the Horde that I'm looking for. We're going to go for main hand. That's Apprentice Hammer of the Horde. Now I've done this without here we go. Without that hammer, but that's the ideal weapon. Alright. Now I'm not going to get anything because I'm on main hand, so we're going to go back to any slot, and we're going to want this, those. Alright. As for a charm, oops, sorry. We want the Silver Web Warrior Charm, which is the tank one. Oop, did I misspell it? That would be a bummer. Alright. Might, which means probably this. Yes, I did. Okay. Now this is what you want to be able to do have a general framework of what you're looking for. Grand. So the mighty is probably what? Here? No. Grand and greater. There we go. Oh, that's a 110. We don't want a 110, we want a 130. Majestic, yeah, there we go. This is the ideal version of this build, basically. We want an Aggie bracelet in the other slot because we're going to be hot swapping. So, Protector's bracelet. Oh, I'm gonna get the wrong thing. I need this. Right? Nope. Oops, I could totally have messed up the audio on this. I hope not. What on earth? Am I just completely out of internet? It's possible. That would be unfortunate. We want an Aggregoth bracelet. We want maybe some Frost Iron rings. Stables. We'll go for stables for now. Oop. These are things that I've searched for before. We're going to go for wait. This is no good. We may have to go for mounts in particular. No, I think that's not it. There we go. Oh, we can't equip this. Let's see if it'll let us equip it. It will, despite the fact that we're level 150. We're going to change to 160. Well, no, we'll let it slide and oop. We'll give him a 140. This gets better as you these are a little bit harder to find because they all look the same. Nope, nope. You can see I would be no good at matching. The last one that I possibly try. Oh, there's not a 140. I'm an idiot. There's only 120s. There we go. Try that. Now, as a pet, as much as this seems strange, we want the golden hair. Even with the advent of the pig, we want the energy from the golden hair. I have to do some testing, but this is what I've used before, and I think that it's what will be most useful. And going to 160 helps because the pet and the mount have 160 have a level requirement of 160. So we actually want, keep clicking the wrong thing. Alright, let's see. For the rings, we need a bright stone ring of the hunter. Now, this is a place where there could be an argument that that's a poacher ring. This one's a hunter. Right? No, that's Dex. This is hunter. Now, let's look at something. When we look at the stats page, just from gear, we're already at 5k health, right? We're already at 800 and something defense, 767 armor, 742 energy. The point here is that before we ever bother applying stat points, right, we have lots of stat points to apply, and what we're going to do is we're going to put enough points in vitality that we get it to 1,000. Now, we're going to get 75 more from the Protector's Bracelet of Vitality if it would let me search for it, but for some reason it won't. There we go. Now, as far as the other rings, we want a Let's take the tier out and see what we can get with the word Vanguard. Oh, nothing, because it's not a completed word for whatever reason. Why did we only get masks? This doesn't make any sense. The Vanguard's bracelets aren't coming up. Nor the rings. I'll have to find another way to search for them. I'll come back to this in a bit, but I want to show off the stats of a particular build, and I know this is super expensive, but I'll explain how you get here over time and why in the world you would use the shield that you see here. Right. Why? Well, I'll once I get this complete, I'll compare some of the gear with other gear, and there are better alternatives in some cases, but mostly there are not. So I will, or at least I feel there are not, at least easily available. I'll make a case for that in a moment. For now, I'm going to have to let you go and then stitch two videos together. So, anyway, hope this was helpful, and I'll see you in just a moment for you, or a couple hours for me. Blast it all. Let's see if I can get this to... There we go. Okay. And you'll want to be hot swapping bracelets as well. But you can see from my stats here, what I've done is I've put in enough vitality to get my vitality up to 1,000, and I've put in the rest in strength, and I have nearly 1,000 strength as well. But the reason why I start with vitality is I get 6.25 health per vitality, and that is not on a sliding scale like strength is. So strength adds based on a square-rooted formula, and the formula used on this site should at least be very close, if not exact. There's a good chance that Aragon is using Swan's formulas here, and they're a very good estimate. They're not exact, and they were done a long time ago when there was less gear to test them with. So they may not work in every circumstance, but they will be very close, and they should be a very good, easy way to tell what's better than what. The energy is adjusted based on the weight as well, and I don't know for sure how that formula, I have a general idea of how it works, but I haven't seen the formula broken down anywhere. But you'll notice I have enough energy, I should be able to cast skills on an ongoing basis. And this is another regeneration ring. So this ring is going to give me energy regeneration, but the health regeneration that I would normally get from this, oh, never mind. Yeah. So the health regeneration I would normally get from this, I won't get, because I have this health regeneration, which is actually more. So if you have 2 rings or 2 bracelets that offer regeneration, it will pick the larger one in most cases, in almost every case. Here we have that same hammer, right? Vitality and damage and skill points. It's fantastic. Here we have, see, and these have a little bit of everything. 150 armor, 150 of each resist, 200 defense, 150 strength. Now, the reason why I bothered with a level 150 warrior build, and this warrior build in particular, is that level 150 can be achieved through the quest line without spending money on elixirs or anything like that. Now, it may take some time, but it can be done. And the big thing here, you'll notice I've stuck with the golden hair, which is where I'm getting my energy from, and the bear that's giving vitality and strength. And when I get to 160, I would be able to up much of this gear. But you don't have to have this perfect, right? The stats here are way above what you need at this level, right? You're not going to be the highest damage around, but your damage is still at 1,000. It's not going to be horrible. Now, the skills aren't added into this page yet. There should be a skill page coming in the future, and that'll be fantastic. The skills that I would use here are Protective Stance, Shatter, Rupture, Pummel, Double Attack, Shield Bash, and then if you have some hot swaps for Taunt, that can be useful in groups, but really you're trying to play solo. So you need Shield Bash and Double Attack. You want to use because they have several different uses, with Double Attack being guaranteed damage because it's unevadable, and Shield Bash being a way to freeze your opponent so that it damages you less. You need a way to heal yourself, because the goal here is to be able to solo every boss below Coppinger without the use of restoration potions or elixirs. So you can just immediately get free gold. I made 25k a day with this build without selling any of the drops. I was donating all of the drops to the clan bank, and I was working full-time. So just in my spare time when I could, I would hop on and I would make about 25k a day killing bosses, because 6-star bosses drop between 1,000 and 2,000 gold if you don't get lucky gold. And then the 5 stars are going to be maybe a couple hundred or so. Oh my goodness, did I just... Oh, okay. There we go. But anyway, this is a build that you can shoot for. Now, obviously, things like this hammer, not very realistic to go after. But you have some options, right? You could go after a Frost Iron Axe. You're going to lose a little bit of vitality, but it's okay. You just move some points from strength to vitality. You could go after an Agrigoth Spear. Be aware that if you're hot swapping a spear, which I've done before, with a hammer or an axe to cast Rupture, that if you're using Vitality, your health will not be healed when you hot swap. You'll hot swap and you'll look like you've taken damage, because those points don't get healed unless you actually manually heal them. It only increases your max health, not your total current health. And then you'll see there, all of the stats are pretty high, but the big thing is that you're at over 8,000 HP. And if you were to drop down by 2,000 HP, you're still very, very tanky, right? The armor can be mostly guaranteed. If you are unable to get frozen armor, it's going to be a lot harder to handle the meteoric bosses, but it's not impossible, and you could very easily swap over to using beast bone armor. I'll do some videos, some follow-up videos with alternates of this build. This is just stuff to shoot for. And here we go. So this Brightstone Hunter set, it can all be used in place of the Wild Shrine gear. But anywhere close to this, and you start to be able to kill 10 or 15 bosses a day quite easily that aren't being highly contested without using any restoration potions or anything like that. And as you start getting that rotation, you're able to save up the gold. And I know many of you are looking at Wild Shrine gear going, oh, that's way too expensive. Well, that's true, maybe. But first of all, I have saved up and bought a Wild Shrine bracelet on from being in a non-dominant clan. With this build, I've done this before. But all the same, you can also substitute for a Poacher bracelet or a Hunter bracelet from the Brightstone set. You might go for a Brightstone Hunter or Poacher amulet as well. You know, you have some options. The idea here is that when 150 gear came out, most of it was highly overpowered. So you might try for a Star Gem set. You have some options, and we'll go over some of that. Your Charm, if you don't have this, you can go for the other version, the Charm of Might. You can also go for a lesser version of this same charm, or you could go for a Comric or Jalan charm. All of those can be good. So anyway, I'll do some videos with these later, and I'll see if I can get a video from Adelheid, who's a friend of mine who uses a build based on this. I told him about having played this sort of a build, so he has his own take on that, which you may see in future videos. Anyway, I hope that's helpful, but more than anything, I hope that it gives you some ideas for things you can try, right? I don't have this character. I just went ahead and entered in, and my damage is only, I noticed that little pop-up at the bottom of the screen, my damage is only up at 1,000 because I went ahead and entered my blunt ability. Now you'll notice there's no place for melee combat ability. That's because skills haven't been entered yet, and skill damage is affected by melee combat ability, but your individual abilities are not. So 1,500 would be maxed blunt ability for that level, which is unlikely. But again, if you're using an axe, you want to put in the axe ability that you would have, and so on. You have a lot of different options, and I'll show you when you swap them out. But even if your HP were 2k lower, that would be okay. If your damage were 200 lower, that would be okay. You could still do a lot of these soloing things. And that the pet, you've seen Lava go for a Phoenix that is better, a Dragon is better, but they're expensive. Whereas even with a Brown Bunny, I was able to solo Rockbelly 6 at this level. So, and that was without a battle mount at all. So my stats were notably worse. And we'll experiment with that in future videos, as I've said. This shield is kind of the key here, because it allows you to use Shield Bash, but also it damages anything that attacks you, and it gives you some armor, some resistance, some defense, and some strength all at the same time. There are better defensive options, and there are better offensive options. There are not better hybrid options. So this allows you to follow the quest line as far as it's going to easily take you, and then spend as much time as you want farming up a build that can then support alts very easily, because you have an easy, free way to farm gold even if you're not getting support from other clan members or things like that. Anyway, I hope that helps, and please do, play around with this. Let me know if there are any other cool builds that you've come up with through this sort of thing. You can also, if you're debating on spending DKP on an item or bidding on an item in the auction house, you can also punch in the piece of gear that you already have here, and then put in the new piece of gear instead and watch how the stats change. So yeah, hope that was helpful, and please do leave feedback, just ideas that you've had with this, or new ideas for things you would like to see, other areas of this site that you use. We would love to hear from you. Just hoping to make this channel one more resource for the community to communicate with each other. And if you enjoyed it, share around to get the word out that this is even available. It's just totally amazing. Subscribe if you haven't already. And thank you very much for watching. I will see you tomorrow with another video. All right, goodbye.